Hello again. All right, so this is the video to do the buttercream process on the October Cosmo flower. All right, so for this one, I'm going to just do the blossom so you can kind of see how the blossom cutter works. And there are two ways. You can either just, so for Cosmo, I'm going to do this purple buttercream. You could just make your purple Cosmo and then put it directly on the cookie. Totally fine. If you want that two-tone effect that you get from fondant, you can also put it on to a base level of some ivory buttercream. All right, so when working with buttercream, you will need to put your buttercream cutouts into the freezer for a little bit just to stiffen up enough to where you can handle them. But I have found it very useful to use one of these freezer boards. I got this off of Amazon. It's about $15, and I just keep it in the deep freezer. And it's for making rolled ice cream. So anyway, and this is just super handy. Also, normally when I am doing the buttercream process, I use a piece of parchment paper that's been folded in half. But it's super loud on video, so I'm not going to do that. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to use this silicone sheet. So I'll be rolling out the buttercream on this sheet, and you'll see how that works. Okay, so I would like to have that two-tone effect. So I'm going to go ahead and roll out some of this ivory buttercream. And every first order also comes with a recipe card that has our rolled buttercream recipe on it. So don't worry about that. But you can also find other recipes for rolled buttercream online. I really love it. I think it tastes amazing, especially with a good sugar cookie. It's just absolutely amazing flavor. And mine is always ivory because I use natural vanilla, so it's always kind of got that, and then the butter is going to make it kind of that ivory color. If you want it to be white, you could add titanium dioxide. I'm not a big fan of that. That's what white food dye is. But I just really like the pastel ivory, just kind of like that more, I guess, I don't know, like vintage aesthetic to the natural food color options. Okay, so I'm just rolling this. Oh gosh, my stand just broke. Okay. All right, so I'm just rolling that out, and I'm going to use my cutter to cut out. And normally, obviously, when I'm making cookies, I actually do several of these at a time, but for the sake of the video, I'm just going to do one. Okay, so I've got my buttercream here. Okay, I'm going to use my acrylic scraper, which comes with every first order. You get the starter kit, and the acrylic scraper is on there. It's just really handy for cleaning things up. Okay, now if I picked this up and had it put on a cookie, I could do that, but it's like butter. I mean, it's very hard to handle right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and again, normally this would be a piece of parchment, and I'm putting it on top of the freezer board. And so the freezer board is going to freeze the butter inside of that so that it stiffens up and I can actually handle it. Okay, while that is freezing, I'm going to go ahead and roll out some purple buttercream. This is colored with taro, which is a purple potato. And I made a food dye out of taro powder and glycerin. I'm going to post a recipe to how to make natural food dyes on the website. Hope very soon. I'll take care of it soon. Just because it's really easy. It's so much more affordable, and these days it's actually not hard to get your hands on a lot of the ingredients, like the fruit and vegetable powders needed. It's really not hard to get your hands on them anymore, because we have all these options online to order things from. Anyway, so we'll work on that. But I really like the taro, and taro doesn't leave a weird flavor or anything like that. So I don't know, I really like this natural lavender purple color. Okay, I have the worst habit of rolling out my buttercream way too thin. So sometimes I use, I don't know if you've ever seen those, they look like rulers, and it's like a rolling guide. I like to use those. Normally I use those, but I don't know. Filming is new to me, so I'm just trying to do what I can. Okay. All right, so I've got this rolled out, and it's not too thin, not too thick. Okay, so this, I'm going to be pressing my stamp in here, and then I'm going to use my buttercream cutter to grab the exact impression. Okay, so first, just to make sure that it doesn't stick, I want to take my cornstarch in my cheesecloth bag, and I'm going to dust the buttercream and dust the stamp. I like to use my fan brush, also comes with your starter kit, to just kind of clean the cornstarch off of there, off the buttercream. Okay, and now I'm just going to press it down. There we go. And you just kind of wiggle it up, and there we go. Use the fan brush to clean it up. All right, and this is so the thing is, these flowers are actually hand drawn. And so take it. I should have done this ahead of time, but basically you just need to match it up to where it's right. And the buttercream cutter is designed to cut out only the design. So I'm going to get rid of this excess buttercream here. Get that out of the way. All right, there we go. I'm going to use my cookie scribe to clean up anything else. I'm normally better at this than that, but let's see here. Just going to clean this up a little bit. Cookie scribe, poker, this also comes with your starter kit, so don't worry, you'll have all these tools. All right. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the freezer board for a second to get it freezing so that we can transfer it on top of the ivory piece that we did. I'm just going to kind of clean this up real quick. All right, this is going to go onto the freezer board. Okay, so my ivory cutout has been on the freezer board for, I guess, about a minute or so. So it has stiffened up enough just in that short time for me to be able to peel it off and handle it. See that? Really easy. And the silicone actually makes it so that it takes longer to stiffen. So if I had used the parchment to put this on the freezer board, it would be even firmer. Okay, so let me see here. One thing I will note with the buttercream process on our stamp here, I like to do just the stamp all one color. Now we do have some designs where they'll come with individual buttercream cutters. They cut out different sections so you can mix colors, and I'll have videos explaining that. But for this one, I'm just doing it all purple. So you may be wondering, well, what about the center here? So for the center, what I like to do is use some of this is called luster dust. It's just mica powder with a little bit of almond oil or almond extract. Or, you could use clear vanilla extract and just to kind of turn it into a paint. So I'm just going to use that to paint the center, and I'll show you that in just a second once we pull our purple Cosmo flower off. Okay, so it's been on the freezer board. So it's now frozen enough, solidified enough to where I can easily pull this off. Okay. There we go. And now I'm going to paint that center part. So each kit comes with a fine tip brush if you need to do any. I like to do a lot of painting details with food dye that has been, diluted with either almond extract or clear vanilla extract, or mica powders. Mica powders I really like. You get this really cool pop effect because it's, shiny and metallic. Here we go. Okay. And then I'm going to use my lifter. Normally, this would have been placed on a cookie already, but because I didn't have any cookies baked, I'm just going to pick it up with my lifter. And there you go. That's the buttercream process for the October Cosmo birth flower. And I'll be working on some more videos for you guys today, but hope y'all enjoy. If you have any questions about the process or anything else, just leave a comment, and I'm going to do my best to stay on top of those comments. But anyway, all of these stamps and cutters and supplies, all of it, you can get at our website, which is littleredhenbakingsupply.com, and that's in the description. I hope you have a great day. Bye.